So at the bottom of the screen, there's a CellQuest. That's a software we want to use. So once you open CellQuest, it gives you an empty document. We don't want to use we already have a template. So I'm going to go to File, Open Document, and then I will go to say my document, my own directory, HQIN, and then I go to Document. Usually you have to find lab. You find the most recent template. So in our case, I'm going to find it looks like Apple 9. This one template. This is lab template. We also need to find out the instrument settings of the document. Let me see whether there's an instrument setting here. No. Our template. Oh, instrument setting has to be open on a different place. Sorry. And then you go to Acquire, say Connect to Cytometer. Yes. Then you will see a browser, say Acquisition. In fact, you can use a cytometer now, but we often load instrument setting. Each channel has different voltage level. Different voltage level will detect the signal strength and position. So if you do, let's say you run one experiment today and tomorrow you run an experiment under different conditions, then the result will not be comparable. So you want to do one experiment in the same instrument setting. So for instrument setting, we go to cytometer. Instrument settings, and then we say open instrument setting, click one instrument setting there, and then we say set. See the spinning wheel says it's setting the instrument set, right? And then we say done. Often when we run an experiment, we want to see a lot of windows. That window is called detectors, threshold, compensation, and status. We also want to go to Acquire and see something called counters. You will, probably after some practice on you will know why we need so many things. It's actually not difficult. After you run several times, it's much simpler than it appears. So don't be afraid of it. So. Oops. Now, see at the acquisition control, there is the checks and setup. If the setup is checked, nothing is recorded. So if you want to record your experimental data, this setup has to be unchecked. If you look at the acquisition, the main acquisition window, there's also say directory and a file. The directory is where you want to save the directory you want to save your data, and the file is the file name for the current sample. So I'm going to change the directory just to something. Save everything in the lab. That's by default. That's our lab. Sometimes you see Lee lab, Howard. Sometimes I also run sample for other people, so I put them in different directory. So all of us should put in lab. And then we create every day or every experiment we create a new folder. So in this case, I'm going to call this 2012 May 31st. I'm just say practice. So create, choose, and then there's a file name. File name, I'm going to say this one just water. Okay. Now, once you want to click a file, you should put this on run. If you don't put this on run, it's click a file, it's going to give an error message say the instrument is not ready. If I can do that now, and I click acquire and say the submit status is not ready. And then I click run. Now let's do it again. Okay, now you see some signal there. You see FSC forward scattering. This is what it means, forward scattering. Side scattering in the vertical direction. The laser is here, your sample is here. The forward scattering is like to cast a shadow of your sample. If I have particle, the forward scattering, there's a shadow on the screen. That's a forward scattering. And that signal is proportional to the size of your sample. Not the shadow. You basically consider the shadow of your sample. The vertical scattering is the light that goes this direction and you detect at this angle. That's the side scattering signal. And that, if you think about why some of them cannot be detected by radar, that's the same principle. It depends on the granularity, the roughness of the surface. So the more rough the object is, the more it will reflect light. Reflect light, in this case, laser. So the side scattering is proportional to the what they call granularity of the cell.
So they're kind of like a diamond that's very clear, that can reflect a lot of light, versus one that's kind of dingy, that can't reflect.
Philosophically, it's similar, but actually it's not the same. That's the, I forgot the physics concept of that. That's something else.
Total internal reflection. Total internal reflection.
That's a different one. That's a different reflection. This principle is the same principle why the sky is blue.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same principle. The diamond reflection, that's a different. I forgot the term. Okay, but in this case you can see there's a lot of dust in that water. That water looks clear. There's so much dust that you will see here. So those are on log scale. You really need to pay attention to the scale. Those are log scale, 10 to 4, 10 to 1. So that means it's a very small particle on this side. If it's a cell, it will go to this window. For each cell, it often goes to here. So R1, R2, those are called gate. R1 gate and R2 gate. So in R2, we consider those are dust or just particles in the water. Yeah. Then you see FL1, FL2, and FL3. Those will be channels, detector channels. FL1 is wavelength of 530 with the width about 30 nanometers. That's green. That's green color, FL1. FL2, 585, that's actually in the orange and the red. And FL3 is 670, that's in the, what's the red, deep red or something. So FL2 and FL3 actually are all appear to be red in our eye, even though the wavelengths differ by more than 100 nanometers.
What's FL4?